The third, Yang, also quickly admitted his mistake. "Big brother, just like the second brother, I apologize to you. If you have any instructions in the future, I will definitely take the lead and dare not follow." A trace of melancholy and hesitation flashed across Philip's expression. In fact, he did not expect that the second and third would give up resistance so quickly. Originally thought they would resist stubbornly, but what he didn't expect was that Charlie and his father Chang Ying's identity completely frightened them. Therefore, a complete victory was achieved at once, and both of the younger brothers confessed their mistakes with great concentration, and he did not think about how to deal with them. At this time, Charlie said, "Since you want to admit your mistakes, you must at least express it. Although I am an outsider, I also make a little suggestion here. Please listen and see if it is feasible." Philip hurriedly said, "Charlie, you say." Charlie smiled and said, "Uncle, these 4 people are all blood relatives of your same clan. In my opinion, knowing your mistakes can make corrections." When Yanzheng and Yangang heard this, they were happy and hurriedly nodded in agreement. "Yes, big brother, we are all brothers. For the sake of blood relationship and our sincere regret, forgive us this time." Charlie said again at this time, "Don't worry, you can be forgiven, but forgiveness is also conditional." Yanzheng of course knew that Charlie could not be so good, and took the initiative to intercede for them. There must be other conditions in exchange for them, so he immediately clasped his fists and said, "Master, please say." Charlie said indifferently, "You are both shareholders of the GU Group, and you have shares in the GU Group. Since you want to follow Uncle with all your heart, you must be bound firmly with him. So my suggestion, you too, immediately transfer the voting rights corresponding to all the shares in your hands to Uncle forever." What Charlie wanted was the voting rights corresponding to their shares, but not their shares. In other words, how much should they hold, how much should they not hold, how much should they earn, and how much money should they not earn. But after the voting rights of the shares are handed over, they have no right to speak in this board of directors, and everything must be ordered by the controlling party's decision-making. In this way, Philip's voting rights have reached the 51% absolute control requirement. In the future, he will be one of the best in the GU Group. Even if all the remaining shareholders unite, they will only have 49% of the voice at most, so it is impossible to shake Philip's control. When Philip heard this, his heart was clear. Unexpectedly, Charlie not only saved his life, but also wanted to help him regain control of the GU Group. This kid acts cleanly and decisively. He really has the shadow of his father back then. Thinking of this, Philip sighed besides being grateful, sighing his big brother. Charlie had been in Orus Hill for many years. He hadn't received a good education or experienced good conditions. He struggled to get up from the grassroots mud pit by himself, but he did not expect that he was already quite a general. If the eldest brother was still alive these years, and if Charlie can be carefully nurtured under the hands of his father Chang Ying, then Charlie is afraid that it has become a shining existence in the world. Unfortunately, this beautiful vision can only be exchanged with a sigh. However, the more he looked at Charlie, the more pleasing he felt. If he can become his son-in-law in the future, he will be able to give his daughter a lifetime of happiness, and he and his wife can be completely relieved. At this moment, Yanzheng felt a pain in his heart. Charlie's words made him realize that this is helping the eldest brother and disarming him. In a company, it doesn't matter how many employees or departments you have under your hands. What is important is how much power you have in the company. The voting rights corresponding to the shares are tantamount to the company's internal struggle for power and profit. If I let myself surrender all voting rights now, it would be tantamount to letting myself surrender all weapons and completely give up the possibility of resistance. To be honest, he didn't want to be so controlled by others. However, thinking about it the other way round, he has nothing to do. Disagree? There is no way to disagree. After all, the eldest brother is recovering now, and Charlie is supporting him, so he is not an opponent. Now he is still playing a criminal plot with himself, actually letting himself surrender the gun and not kill. If he doesn't agree, then they may change their routine to play the conspiracy. At that time, they will not surrender the gun but never kill the endless trouble. Thinking of this, he sighed softly and said, "Master, I agree to your proposal and hand over all voting rights." Yang Gang has been waiting for the second brother to express his opinion. He has a weak personality and has no opinion. Anyway, he and the second brother have tossed this matter together, so naturally he has to follow the second brother to advance and retreat. So he hurriedly said, "Master, I have no objection." Charlie nodded with satisfaction, and said to Philip, "Uncle, in this case, let the legal affairs come over and draw up the voting rights transfer agreement. After signing the agreement, you can just go to the press conference to hold a press conference in the release hall and put this matter public." After speaking, Charlie checked the time and said, "It's 10 o'clock now. If you move fast, hold a press conference before 11:30. That morning, before the stock market is closed, the GU Group's stock price should respond and turn positive by the end of the business day." "Yes." Philip nodded loyally, and immediately said, "Just do what you said, Charlie." After speaking, he immediately took out his mobile phone and called his assistant. "Call all the legal department immediately." Yanjun gave up resistance and felt relieved. Then, he thought about the inexplicable loss of fertility between himself and his younger brother, son, and nephew. He hurriedly pleaded, "Master, the four of us suddenly lost that. In terms of ability, to be honest, the GU family's blood is all in us and nephews, so please raise your hands high."